I have been on a restricted diet for 22 weeks, and honestly, I feel like I'm going to mentally and emotionally crack. 22 weeks is between 5 and 6 months, so next month it'll be 6 months. And when I first started the diet, there was a purpose for the diet. But when I first started, there was no intention for it to take this long. And I've kind of been stuck in limbo. And like I said, it's really starting to affect me mentally and emotionally. However, it's been an interesting experience, like almost 6 months of being on a restricted diet. It's taught me a few things that I want to share in this video, especially in regards to, your relationship with food. So I originally started the diet because I have had gut issues for 18 years and I wanted to work on healing my gut. So it was a gut healing diet. It wasn't for weight loss. And I don't know how many weeks in, I think somewhere around 6 to 8 weeks, I realized like it wasn't working. It wasn't sorting out my gut issues. And for the last few years, I've had suspicions that I have SIBO. So when I noticed the gut healing diet wasn't working, I decided I'll go get a SIBO test done. And in order to get the SIBO test done, I had to wait like weeks. And that's what's prolonging the diet, is the waiting, right? So I went in there, I got the SIBO test done. I had to do 2 tests 2 weeks apart, staying on the restricted diet. And I ended up testing positive for both SIBO and IMO, which is SIBO is small intestinal bacterial overgrowth. IMO is intestinal methanogen overgrowth. And I have had chronic bloating for 18 years and was diagnosed by the doctors as having IBS, which I knew was bullshit from day one. So I played my own doctor on and off for 18 years. And after 18 years, I now have it properly diagnosed. And so that was actually an exciting breakthrough moment for me, and then I had to, have an appointment with the gastroenterologist because these things are treatable. And so that was exciting, but the gastroenterologist had to go on holiday as soon as I had my results. He was on holiday for all of July, so I had to wait 6 weeks to get in to see him. So that's what's dragged the diet out even more. So I was finally able to see him just a few weeks ago. And basically, he gave me like the treatment, which is like an antibiotic treatment, taking some pills every day for 2 weeks. And it's supposed to like kill the overgrowth. So I was excited. I finally got the treatment. Like, yes, this is what I've been waiting for so long. It's here. And then something else delayed it. More waiting. And honestly, like I said, this is driving me nuts because I am basically stuck on this diet, stuck in limbo. And the thing that delayed it was basically, it just clashed with this online event that I'm helping my mentors with. So the online event is of like 16,000 people. I'm a support coach. And it goes for like 3 weeks, right? And I knew that this isn't the right time to do the treatment whilst helping out with this event, because the event takes a lot of my mental energy and I get sleep deprived because it's ran by Americans and I'm getting up at 3 a.m. to be on Zoom calls at 4 a.m. I just knew that this isn't the best time to do treatment because like there is the chance that treatment won't work. Although my conscious mind rejects that idea. I'm not feeding my energy into that idea because beliefs create reality. So I'm feeding my energy into the belief that no, treatment's going to work. It's only going to take 1 round. And I've also decided that as I go through the treatment, I'm going to apply Dr. Joe Dispenza's work as well. And so if you don't know who Dr. Joe Dispenza is, he is such an amazing man who's basically proving what all these spiritual mystics, what they were saying way back in the day, Dr. Joe Dispenza is one of the guys, one of the people, like not on his own, he works with other people, but they're proving what these people were saying like way back in the day with science now. So like they've got the science to prove what all these spiritual teachers were saying. And so what Dr. Joe Dispenza teaches is using the power of the mind to heal the body. That you can heal anything in the body, and people apply his work and they've healed things like terminal cancer, you know, MS. The people have got their eyesight back, their hearing back, or they've gotten out of wheelchairs. Like people are overcoming medical problems that the medical field tells them that nothing can be done for you, you know. So I decided like the best thing to do is, for me, because I want to resolve my gut issues, and if I do, I will create a follow-up video talking about this. I want to give myself the best shot, right? So I'm going to take the antibiotics. I'm going to be tightening up my diet even more starting today, because I've actually got to start portioning out how much food I'm eating. Even though the food's healthy, it can still feed the bacteria, and you don't want to feed the bacteria when you're trying to kill it off. So I'm having to, you know, tighten up my diet even more, and then also start applying Dr. Joe Dispenza's work, which is basically going into meditation and mentally rehearsing the version of me that doesn't have gut issues, and cultivating those emotions in the body and doing this every day. And so with the online event, I don't have the mental energy to be focused on my treatment. So it's delayed me for another like 2 to 3 weeks, which sucks. And then treatment's going to take 4 weeks, because I've got 2 weeks of the pills, and then I've got to wait another 2 weeks. And the hardest part with this diet is like, there's no end date. I have no end date. I don't know when it's going to end. I don't know how long this is going to take. So yeah, it's taking a real mental and emotional toll. But I wanted to make this video to talk about food, your relationship with food, and what I've learned from being on the diet. I actually think it's quite an interesting experience for me just to see what it's like to only eat whole foods. So I'm only eating certain vegetables, certain fruit, meat, eggs, certain healthy fats, and certain carbs like white rice, potato. And I'm drinking like water, coconut water, herbal tea, and bone broth. So it's not a huge variety. I'm generally eating like the same food every day. And it's just interesting to see, firstly, like what happened to my body once I cut out sugar, gluten, dairy, all that stuff. And I'm not someone that like, I don't really gain weight. I've got a good metabolism, but with getting older, I've noticed my body, you know, starting to accumulate a little bit of fat. And so what I noticed with the diet is within 4 to 6 weeks of being on a restricted diet, I shedded that fat. Basically, I had a little bit of love handles, boom, gone within 4 to 6 weeks. So I thought that's good to know that if I, you know, happen to gain some fat and I want to get rid of it, then I know it'll take me 4 to 6 weeks to be on a restricted diet, and I will be happy with where my body's at. It was also interesting to see what happened when I cut out sugar. I'm a sugar junkie. Like literally, I am such a sugar junkie and have been since I was about 3 years old. Since I could walk and climb, I was in the sugar bowl with a teaspoon from like about the age of 3. So I'm a sugar junkie, and I've always just indulged in sugar, even though I'm not someone that would really get fat. And so it's interesting to see how easy it actually is to give up sugar. Like people say, you know, sugar's addictive. Your brain reacts to it just like cocaine. And I thought it would have been hard for me to give it up. And I thought I would have had withdrawals, and I didn't. It was actually very easy. And I noticed only within like, I don't know, 2 to 3 days of no sugar, I'd stopped craving sugar. Like I noticed I would crave sugar more when it's in my diet. And again, it's like because your brain reacts to the same way as cocaine. It just wants more of it, just wants more of it. but only within about 3 days of not having it, that all went away. I actually have found it more harder. Like, I've been craving food like lasagna, pies, pizza, food like that, more than the actual sugary stuff. But there are times where I do want the sugary stuff and the desserts. It's just interesting as someone who's a sugar junkie that I'm not really craving it as much as I thought. Giving up sugar was easy. I didn't have any withdrawals from it. So it's just interesting to know this about myself, or just to be on this journey and to learn this. And so another thing I've learned by being on this journey is that food brings joy into my life. Not allowing yourself to indulge in the bad foods, the fatty foods, the sugary foods, has actually made my life more miserable. I'm not happy like I used to be. I feel like, again, it's just taking this mental and emotional toll, but it's just like, I'm not enjoying life. I realize food brings joy. And then it's also making social situations hard. I find it easier to just be at home because when I leave my home, food's everywhere. And like last weekend, it really sucked, man. Last weekend, I baked my stepdad a cake for his 70th birthday. And, we got together and he cooked lunch, and I basically had to sit there and watch everyone eat lunch and eat my cake, and I couldn't have any of it. I had to have a plate of 3 fried eggs, and I was like, this is so depressing. Like, this is not enjoyable at all. So I fully believe when it comes to food that being super restricted is not ideal. I don't believe in permanent restricted diets. I believe in temporary restricted diets, like, if you wanted to do some gut healing and you go on a restricted diet temporarily for that, I agree with that. If you want to, lose some weight, then a temporary restricted diet, will help you to shed the excess weight. And so for me, within 4 to 6 weeks, I noticed that. But a permanent restricted diet to be healthy and thrive in life, I don't agree with it at all. I have found my life just feels so miserable, and I'm just like, I need my food freedom back. What I do notice though as well is back before this diet, I was overeating too much. It's all about balance. So I am a healthy person. I like to work out. I like to eat healthy. But before the diet, I was overindulging in the bad stuff. I was eating it daily. But I would always eat it at the end of the day after dinner. That was when I would kind of fuck my diet up. And now that I've been on this diet, the restricted diet, I realize I want to keep my diet cleaner when I'm off this restricted diet. So I'm kind of going to aim for Monday to Friday being eating clean. The weekends allow myself to indulge. And then also not to be super restricted with myself. So let's say I'm eating clean Monday to Friday. But if I got invited out for dinner during one of those days, I'm not going to restrict myself. I'm going to order a dessert. Having that flexibility as well. And so it has taught me to clean my diet up, but it has taught me the importance of allowing yourself to indulge in the bad foods. And what's really important about that is not feeling guilty for it. It can be easy to feel guilty for eating that stuff. And I noticed I was feeling guilty for eating it, but I realized it was because I was eating it every day. And so I was eating it every day. I was feeling guilty because I knew I shouldn't be eating this every day. So when I clean my diet up and allow myself to indulge, when I do indulge, I'm not going to feel that guilt because I won't be doing it every day. And so that's important. When you're eating food, do not feel guilty, because guilt can actually, cause problems in your body. It can cause health issues. The health issues don't come from the food, it comes from the guilt. So let's say you eat a donut. The guilt that you feel for eating that donut is worse for you than eating the donut. And so, I fully believe in balance. I fully believe in eating healthy, but allowing yourself to eat, you know, bad foods, unhealthy foods, whatever you want to call them. And, you know, temporary restricted diets are good, but permanent ones, like if you're someone that's overweight and you're like, no, I'm never eating this stuff again, I'm going to be on a permanent restricted diet forever, I think there's a very high chance that you will kind of, it's like shooting yourself in the foot. You know, you might start out feeling good about being on a restricted diet, but the problem is it's very easy to fall off. And when you fall off, you end up binging and you just ruin everything you've done anyway. So I hope you got some sort of value out of this video, and I don't know, I hope I kind of maybe gave you a different perspective with food and your relationship with food. Because some people will say to clean your diet up to raise vibration, right? So you can ascend. Eat lighter food. And after this experience, I'm like, man, restricting myself is actually lowering my vibration. It's not raising it. I'm not as happy as I used to be, and living like this is hard. So that's why I kind of wanted to make a video about this topic, because I don't fully agree with, you know, restricting diets in order to raise vibration either. Everything in moderation. So allow yourself to indulge and allow yourself to, you know, eat food that brings you joy, because we are here to experience joy. We're here to experience everything. We're here to experience a piece of chocolate cake, you know. So if you got value, just let me know by smashing the like button. Or if you've ever been on a diet yourself, let me know in the comments and let me know how it went for you, because I'd love to hear other people's like perspectives or their experiences with dieting as well. And if you like this sort of content, or you like me, Kiwi chick from New Zealand, then make sure you subscribe, hit the bell notification, and have an awesome day. Peace.